Today we were talking about unit rates and ratios. So first of all, we need to know what a ratio is. We talked about ratio a bit when we talked about rational numbers. A ratio is just the relationship between two quantities, so two numbers or two things. And this is going to be written as a fraction. So ratio means fraction. An example could be if we look at the number of boys and girls in a class. Let's say there are 8 boys in the class, 10 girls, so there's a total of 18. We can write a ratio of boys to girls, so we just look at the number of boys and girls. That's 8 to 10. Now, there's three different ways we can write this. We can write it as a fraction. We can write it with a colon, or you can say number to another number. So when I read this, it's 8 to 10. And it also can be written as 8 colon 10. And this can be reduced. We can divide both numbers by 2 to get 4 to 5. So that means for every 4 boys in the class, there are 5 girls. Write a ratio of boys to the total. So there are 8 boys and 18 total. That can be reduced to 4 to 9. So that means for every 4 boys, there are 9 total students. Last, a ratio of girls to the total. So that's 10 to 18, which can be reduced to 5 to 9. So that means for every 5 girls, there are 9 total students. A rate is a ratio between two related quantities. So when I say related, they just are paired together somehow. So it could be miles per hour, or how much money or how many dollars something costs per pound. And it shows how fast something is changing. Okay. A unit rate is when a rate, so when rates, are expressed as a quantity of 1. So it's how much one thing costs, or how far you're going to go in 1 hour, or how many miles you can go on 1 gallon of gas. So another way to think of this is your denominator is equal to 1. Below this, there are a couple of asterisks, and it says to find a unit rate, you divide the numerator by the denominator. So if it asks you to find the unit rate of something, you just divide, top divide by bottom. We are always going to write our money in our numerator. So we have a few examples. They want us to find each unit rate. So first, what is the unit rate? So that tells us to divide. If you traveled 360 miles in 6 hours. So we want to know how many miles did you go in 1 hour. So we're going to do 360 divided by 6, and that is 60. So this is 60 miles per hour. So you would go 60 miles in 1 hour. Number 2, how many calories are in 1 serving if there are 815 calories in 4 servings? So anytime they ask for 1 of something, that tells you you're finding a unit rate, which also tells you to divide. So we're going to divide 815 divided by 4, and that is going to give us 203.75, and it's calories per serving. So one way to write that is you abbreviate cal, put a slash, and then abbreviate serve. So calories per serving. Number 3, unit rate tells us divide. if we are buying 5 pounds of something and it costs $7.40. Always remember money goes first because we're trying to figure out how much money is it for 1 pound, so we need to put it in that order. So $7.40 over 5. $7.40 divided by 5 is about $1.48, and that's per pound. Pound is abbreviated LB. How many miles can you travel on 1 gallon of gas? So that's what tells us that it's a unit rate, so we divide. If you drove 144 miles on 4.5 gallons. So we're going to do 144 divided by 4.5. When I do that, so 144 divided by 4.5, you can't have a decimal on the outside, so we're going to move it. So we have to move that over once. So I actually have a 45 on the outside, 1,440 on the inside. 45 doesn't go into 1, doesn't go into 14. It goes into 144 3 times. 45 times 3 is 135. 144 minus 135 is 9. Bring down the 0. 45 goes into 90 twice. We don't have a remainder. So we get 32. So again, it asks how many miles can you travel on 1 gallon of gas? So it's 32 miles. Okay, on the next page, we have one more question, but it has a couple parts to it. It says, use the table to answer the questions. Which soft drink has about twice the amount of sodium per ounce than the other two? So this table, it shows us we're looking at soft drink A, B, and C. Here's the serving size. Here's how much sodium is in it, so that's salt, and how much sugar is in it. So if they want sodium per ounce, then we're going to put sodium divided by ounces. So let's first look at choice A. So A, sodium per ounce, so 12, so 40 over 12. 40 divided by 12 is about 3.3 repeating. If I look at B, it had 24 milligrams of sodium for 8 ounces. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Then if I look at C, C has 42 milligrams of sodium per 7 ounce. 42 divided by 7 is 6. So look back at the question, was soft drink had about twice the amount? That would be soft drink C. So C had twice the amount. And part B, which soft drink has the least amount of sugar per ounce? So let's look at A. We're looking at sugar per ounce. So that's 22 divided by 12, which is going to give me about 1.83 repeating. If I look at B, 15 grams of sugar over 8 ounces. 15 divided by 8 is about 1.875. And for C, we have 30 grams of sugar for 7 ounces, so 30 divided by 7 is going to give me about 4.28. So I want the least amount. So I know 4 isn't smaller than 1, so it's between A and B. So we have 1, 1, 8, 8, and then compare 3 and 7. 3 is smaller, so A is smaller. So A has the least amount of sugar. Per ounce. So again, anytime it wants to know one of something or a unit rate of something, you just have to divide. If you have any questions, please email me.